I'm already at work.
And we're back. All
Whew,
right. Well then. Uh,
I'm hungry.
did you say you're hungry?
I'm hungry.
I got the beer munchies myself. Those are a thing. Those are
Ooh.
definitely a
Oh,
thing for
agreed.
me.
And
Yeah.
beer naps.
Oh yeah, beer naps are definitely a thing. I rarely take them, but when you do, you just wake up even more drunk than you were when you went to
I was
bed.
about to say that.
Isn't it crazy how that works out? Where you're like, you wake up and you're like, "What the hell happened?"
Why am I so drunk?
Come to think of it, again, I rarely do that, but when I do, I feel like it's probably been with you, and we're in the same bed, like waking up like, oh.
I recently told my parents, like this past Saturday, the story of the bachelorette party where my my wife calls me
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we're talking, and then Sin, she's like, "I know those curls," and it was AJ.
It was definitely
Hey,
AJ.
when the wives are out, the husbands spend the night together, right?
Oh yeah, we made our own bachelorette party that night for sure.
Yeah,
For
we did that
sure.
weekend.
Oh yeah, and my hair was extra long then too. That's when I was growing it out for your wedding.
Hmm.
God damn it. So yeah, there was no hiding them whatsoever. That's
Mm-mm.
awesome. That's
That
awesome.
was a crazy night.
That was a
That
wild,
drunk
fun
lady
night.
who got arrested, who was fighting with everybody.
That drunk aunt, yeah.
Hmm.
She was an auntie to somebody. But somebody that was there. Yeah, that was
How
amazing.
embarrassing. Thank God we don't have any friends that are like that.
Like that wild,
That
I
type of
know.
drunk.
I think I'm the closest we get to that, which is fortunate
But
that
you
I'm
don't
not
get
that bad.
aggressive. That's what I mean. Like our
Yeah,
group of friends don't get aggressively drunk. We get hammered.
we get silly, but
We get
yeah,
very silly, but I don't think any of us ever get like aggressive. Well, there's that
yeah.
one time we got into a fight, but
Oh, that was
not the kind of fight the listeners think. But let's leave
yeah.
it
No,
like that. Let's not tell them.
it was a civil argument. That's all it was.
Civil, yeah.
It was a husband and husband that got in a fight with an argument and a disagreement with one another. That's all.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
That's all there was to it. There, that's one thing I do appreciate. There was no inkling of physicality to it whatsoever. It was just
Oh
more
no.
like you hurt my feelings, I hurt your feelings. Wah.
And at the end of the night, we made up. So
We made out. I like to think up and out,
Mm.
like a good old fashioned home run, up and out,
Whew,
most definitely.
too good. So I know I'm like 14 months late on this, but I finally watched The Matrix,
What do you mean?
the
Oh, back.
fourth one.
Oh my God! That's why you wanted to continue this episode. Okay, go on, go on.
Yeah. Um, it
Oh
was
boy.
trash.
Oh, do you think so?
I it
I'm sorry.
it was entertaining enough to keep watching it,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
and I've made this point before. It was like a one of those episodes in a show that's like 7 seasons long, and they're like, okay, we're seventh season, let's do a flashback episode. That's
Sure.
what this was. There
Oh my
was so much flashback. And why did we need Agent Smith again? Why was he even there? He randomly shows up with Neil Patrick Harris. I liked his character until that very end, where he kind
yes.
of ended up being a bitch,
Yeah.
and the random Mr. Smith shows up. Or yeah, right, Mr. Smith, that's his name? Agent Smith?
Agent Smith. Yeah.
Why was he there?
But it's also like not Agent Smith. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, yeah. I
Which is the
hated
worst
that
part
concept.
about it.
Same thing with Morpheus.
It could
He's
have
a
just
computer program that was made by Neo.
it could have easily just been new characters. It could have
That's
just
what
as
they should have
easily
fucking did.
exactly. Like I mean, because the actor that played New Morpheus or whatever is super cool.
Agreed.
Black Mana, awesome. He's great as Black Mana. Like I mean,
Oh,
aside
that's
from the
him.
movie being yeah, same actor if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
wow.
It's just like why did they feel like they needed to? Okay, we can't afford Hugo Weaving, so maybe we'll just call this other character Agent Smith, even though it's not Hugo Weaving. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, seriously,
Yeah.
seriously? Like, I don't
And
know. It's embarrassing. It's
now
embarrassing.
Trinity's the one now. So now there isn't a one. There's a two.
I know, right?
Like the movie, it's the number two.
I don't know how could they not get Hugo Weaving back? They couldn't get Lawrence Fishburne back to play Morpheus, but somehow, some way, they were able to get Keanu Reeves back. I mean, I'm sure he's
They
hyped and
gave him all the
passionate.
money,
Yeah, that's where the budget went
and he
because
usually gives his money away, but they gave him all the money. Like,
yeah, right. We're Keanu, we're gonna give you enough money to where you can still give it away, but you'll still have a few
you'll still be
bucks left
rich. You'll
over.
still be rich. You can
Yeah,
get another motorcycle.
exactly, exactly. You can now fund your next project. You can now make sure that John Wick 5 will be a thing 7 years from now, you know?
I mean, 10.
I know, right? Which I'm here for, by the way.
They're
They've
still
yet to
good.
miss for me. They've yet
Exactly.
to
They're still good.
miss.
Unlike the Matrix.
And 4 is right around the corner, actually. Yeah. It's
I'm
super
excited.
coming up.
I haven't seen the trailer. I'm trying to avoid that one.
You've seen all 3 now, right? Because we talked about the third one on
Oh yeah.
our old podcast, SC Geek, right?
Hmm.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah.
That's a fun show to go back and listen to. But
Yeah,
but
the movie was
anyway,
trash. I don't
oh, Matrix. What was it called
how
again?
they
Matrix what?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just
Revel
decided to play it.
It was
Revelation?
Revelations, I think, because the third one was Revolutions. Matrix, Resurrections. That's what it
Resurrection.
was.
Yeah, I guess that makes like the title makes sense, I guess, but because they
Yeah,
resurrected everything when they shouldn't have.
it's flashback the movie though. You're absolutely
I
right. Stock footage the movie. How many
that's what it
old
is.
scenes do we need to watch? Like we watch the movies. Anyone who's watching the new Matrix movie, it's only because we're nerdy enough to have watched the other 3. At
Hmm.
least the first one. And most of the flashbacks are from the first one.
Yeah.
We don't need to see that. Like, I don't need to see Morpheus getting fingers up his nose by Agent Smith anymore. Like, I don't like, I
And
don't need to
then
see. I don't need that.
I don't need to see new Morpheus quote old Morpheus when old Morpheus is on the screen quoting the new Morpheus.
I'm.
what, what
It's
was
an.
going on?
It's an annoying. Okay, look at the first
Yeah,
20 minutes of this film is pretty cool.
it's
It's
intriguing.
pretty cool. It's
It's
intriguing.
intriguing. Yes,
It's intriguing.
there's still a lot of flashbacks in those first 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
if the last part of it after those 20 minutes were good, I would be fine with it.
Right? Well, the only thing is once they stop the flashbacks for like a cool another 15, 20 minutes, then the movie just gets boring. It's just like I don't need I know that I'm sorry, I'm getting upset now. Trinity and Neo were a thing. I know that. I don't need to see when they first kissed again. You could I'm sorry. It's just
And now
it's an
was
annoying boring film.
just and correct me like if I'm wrong, but they never even kind of implied that his power came from the power of love, right?
The power of the power of
Like
the
she
love.
agreed she believed in him.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Right.
But I mean, I don't think from part 2 and 3 they ever really show. I mean, they show that his power increases because he's driven at the fact that she's gonna die, so he
Right.
needs to save her.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never implied that their love is what makes him who he is.
I wish I knew better, but I don't
I do.
recall that being a factor either. Now that you
I watch those
mention it.
movies often.
There you go.
Yeah, those
But
3.
all I remember is that he eventually Morpheus shows him the light in the first film. In the second one, he continues his devout I should say his devotion to Neo being the one. And then Neo still finds out he's not the one, but he ends up kind of saving everyone anyway. Like I think after a while it just becomes it transitions from Morpheus believing in Neo to then Neo believing in himself. And that's ultimately what saves humanity, from what I recall. I could be wrong, but that's what I interpreted it as. Eventually, he kind of just is enlightened to realize, hey, you know what? Humanity has lost time and time again.
Yeah.
Row, row, fight the power. I'm still going to try. And then he kind of dies but succeeds, you know?
Well, he doesn't die.
Well, yeah, apparently.
This movie erases that. He doesn't die though.
which was intriguing. Like I liked the idea of him like drugging himself to not remember, to kind of go with the status quo, and like him meeting Trinity again was really cool. I didn't need the
It was
flashback
interesting.
to know that they once knew each other, because
It was kind of implied when she's like, "Do we know each other, or have
Yeah.
we met each other?" Like, okay, that's all you need.
I would like to think 0.001% of people that watched Matrix Resurrections had never seen the previous 3. So
Agreed.
it's like, why do we need all of this stock footage from previous films to help us feel something? Like, it just goes to show that they didn't believe in the
And
film themselves.
that's not even like a valid. I don't even think it's that point because it was released on HBO Max. So
Mhm.
you can literally watch the first three before you go to four.
100%. Yes,
But
exactly.
again, I thought Neil Patrick's character was great until the end scene.
Yeah, I liked when he did
I
freeze time. That was really cool.
I love the idea of the bad guy being the architect this time
I mean, I kind of
and
always
not the
felt like he
agents.
I always kind of felt like he
Yeah,
was. The
you find
architect was
out at
always
the
kind of a
very
dick.
end.
He was always kind of a dick, but
Well,
I
he's
think
the
he just
Matrix.
told it like he was. He just told it like it
He was
was, you know?
factual. That's what
Yeah,
the Neil Patrick Harris character says. He ran off of facts and numbers, equations.
right.
And Neil Patrick Harris is more like, I get the human mind. He's like an actual evil robot, is what I felt like. Like
Right.
AI. I know what's best. You don't.
Hey, he was like Thanos in Endgame. Like, now he knows, like, hey, you know what? Thanos in Infinity War was like righteous, self-righteous to a degree. He knew what was he knew for his personal truth that what was good for the universe was to break everything in half. And in an Endgame, when he's like, no, I'm just gonna kill you all because I enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy it this time. And that's kind of how I feel Neil Patrick Harris as the architect was, and kind of like, I get humanity now, I get y'all, but now I'm just gonna kill you all because I just want to. Like, it's just
Because
kind of
I'm a
similar,
robot. Who cares?
which is kind of a fun idea, but not executed the best. But he
And
wasn't the worst part of the film for sure. Neil Patrick Harris is awesome.
I,
It's awesome, I should say.
I may have missed something. I don't feel like I did. But they don't even explain how this new Smith is able to get around that bullet time, right? He just shows up and he's going at regular speed.
I maybe, but I
It's
unfortunately I checked out of that film too many
way before that.
times. Way before that.
Yeah.
I, I,
It's
I
not
looked at
good.
my
I
phone probably 7,000 times by the time the movie ended. I just remember being like, it's still going. It's still, oh, there's another flashback. It's still going.
and I think you could go run with the whole Agent Smith is back. I do like that because
Yeah.
that is implied in the original trilogy that he is the direct opposite of Neo. He was created because Neo was created. Like he goes into so much detail about
Yeah.
that, especially in the third crappy movie where they're Super Saiyans. And which I like. I love those
It's
movies.
still a fun movie.
I
Yeah, it's still
love
fun.
those. I love that trilogy. I hate the fourth one though. Uh,
That's why
I
you like
like
the trilogy. Yeah.
but if you're gonna take that route, bring back the character, like you said. He's a computer program. Like, why couldn't he come back as Agent Smith, as the original actor?
Budget is a thing.
Because I think that alone would have been a cool concept that he's back and he's back because Neo's back and he's never really gonna go away until Neo goes away.
For all we know, Agent Smith could have also been like a character that maybe, well, no, he's part of the Matrix in a program. So therefore, I was
Yeah,
thinking like he could have been like a character that was also potentially unaware of his setting of where he came from. And then all of a sudden they realize that, oh no, we've had a rivalry from the beginning of time.
all it takes is a gun being shot at a guy who's not Neo. Remember, this is a different looking guy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Neo on the inside, it's Neo's soul, but
Yeah.
it's a different person.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So that's what triggers Agent Smith. He sees him being shot at, and then oh, guess what? Another flashback, and then
But this one probably would have been worth it, maybe a little bit, I guess. You don't even need to have the flashback, just be like, I remember. And then, rah, I don't know. It's just, yeah. I just think they went at this movie with like half the budget that it
not
probably
they.
needed,
Well,
probably
I
a
guess
quarter
they
of the budget it probably needed. So therefore, they couldn't afford Hugo Weaving. They couldn't afford Lawrence Fishburne. They probably said no to the project in general once they
they
got the
couldn't afford
script.
the brothers. They had to get one of the sisters.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all bad. Oh, oh God. You're right. You're right. Another one off the list.
Straight up.
Oh, Jesus God.
It was not good.
It was,
I
which is sad.
characters. Some of the characters were interesting. Like I thought the new captain was interesting, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
nobody
Niobe's
died.
Robo Owl was kind of neat. Not really.
No. Yeah, none of the new character, like none of the good guys died.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
one good guy died.
Actually, now that you mention it, maybe not. Maybe the very beginning when they're running from the agents, I guess. I don't know. That
Nope.
was super neat though. Again, the first 20 minutes of the film intriguing. Like you get like Morpheus actually Morpheus, quote unquote, pretending to be an agent, which then saves the girl and like enlightens her and everything. That was sick. That was really cool. I like that. But then also
Oh,
the
I'm
very
glad you
beginning.
brought that up
Oh God. Okay. Okay.
because he himself, Morbius, says that Neo created him based off of the two most influential people in his life,
Uh-huh.
which was Morpheus and Agent Smith. Did you see any Agent Smith in him?
I mean, other than pretending to be an agent in the beginning, not really. Not that I could think
No,
of.
right?
Yeah, I don't
Are
know.
you sure he was pretending to be an agent? You don't think he was an agent and then his because Neo programmed him to think he's Morpheus too? Now I gotta rewatch that shitty movie.
Oh God, good luck. I mean, I think we're making it deeper than it really is, or maybe we're finally tapping into the deepness that is
Don't
this
matter.
film. But at the same time,
If I gotta think this hard, it
poorly
don't matter.
executed. I mean, sometimes it's fun to have thought-provoking films watched. I like that sometimes. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's part of the best parts of watching a movie is
That's why I watch
rewatching
Marvel
it.
movies.
But you see what you see is what you get.
Yeah, there's really nothing that's thought provoking in Marvel movies.
That's true. That's true. You might cry because your favorite superhero got killed, but that's about it. That's about it. But I mean, I love rewatching films sometimes for that reason of like, ooh, let me catch something I didn't see the first time. But this film, this ain't the one.
We're just gonna
This ain't the
pretend
one.
like Neo is no longer the one. This movie is no longer the one.
Let us clarify this before the entire Matrix community also hates us.
Yeah, all right.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, we both, I think, individually, and including other friends of ours, went into this film hoping for greatness,
Oh
anticipating
yeah.
fun. Like The Matrix. It's it's
No.
it's 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 revolutionary filmmaking. The first two, at least, the first one at minimum. But yeah, it really goes somewhere that it didn't need to. I mean, I would have
No.
been fine just leaving at 1, 2, and 3 and never having a fourth ever again. It didn't. I mean, maybe 20 years from now when they want to just reboot the whole thing. But yeah, it's
But
unfortunate.
it could have been better. Like I said,
Definitely.
there were a tiny bit, but there were a few elements I liked about it. But more flashbacks,
Yeah, we need more
more
flashbacks.
flashbacks. You seen the skit, more cowbell,
Yeah, of
more
course.
flashbacks.
I'm not opposed to it now that you mention it. We'll have to work that out. I smell a shortcoming, a sketch coming our way.
Ooh,
You're doing okay?
I'm done.
Nice, nice.
Ooh, I need to check out too.
Okay, sounds goody. All right then. Well, then that being the case, an episode of Beer Belly would not be complete without John's words of wisdom for the week. So go ahead, sir.
Go back to 1 minute and 20 seconds in. There it is.
Enough said. Enough said.
If
Bastard.
you're listening to the episode, you know. You know.
You know what happened, but in
No.
case you forgot,
I don't
minute, 20
remember what I
seconds.
said. Yeah. So minute and 20 seconds.
Wow.
Also, the fourth movie was terrible. The Matrix, don't watch it.
That's factual enough right there. That's wisdom enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, a wise one. We appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you of sharing of knowledge. That being said, if you'd like to help support the show, you can send us a tip on Twitter. It's that little dollar symbol on the top of our Twitter page at BeerBellyPod. It helps support the show, gets things going around here. We are working on merch. We're just waiting for designs to be finalized, and then best believe we're going to promote the crap out of them when that gets approved and everything gets done. So be on the lookout for that. If you have any suggestions on what we should talk about next time, any questions you have, or beers we should try in future episodes, beerbellypod@gmail.com or at beerbellypod on all your favorite social media accounts. Links to all of that in every episode description. Thanks so much for everyone that takes the time to rate us 5 stars. Top ratings available, 120 stars, if you will, on your
120.
favorite podcasting apps. It helps out the show a bunch, especially when you take the time to write a positive review. Again, thanks to everyone that also watches our silly like shorts and like little clips on social media, like YouTube and stuff like that.
For every one
Instagram.
view, we get happy.
Yeah, dude. It definitely helps out a lot. Thank you so much. Doesn't pay the bills, but it
Bro,
gets the
not at all.
show
You
that
freeloading
much
people.
bigger. How dare you? We're giving this to you for free. If
Free
you
content. Now pay me. Pay me
Exactly.
for my free content.
Honestly, if there's like 500 of you and you all donate $1, that's a half a grand that we're getting to support the show. That's awesome, and that goes in
Mhm.
towards the production of making this bigger and
To
better
us getting more
than it ever
drunk.
has been, and also definitely getting more
Yeah.
drunk. Let's be real on that regard. But also, yeah, and if people do $500 for 500 viewers, or I was just $500, Jesus God,
Damn.
$5, and there's 500 viewers. That's quite a big number. But again, every little bit counts, even if it's like 50 cents, whatever you can afford. Great. If you can't, that's totally fine. Maybe you got other things going on in life to where you cannot afford to donate. No big deal. You talking about us and also just liking our shit helps out immensely. Thank you so much. So very much. Again, at BeerBellyPod, BeerBellyPod@gmail.com is how you can get a hold of us as well. Have a great day. If you have any questions, let us know. This has been an episode of Beer Belly, and we will see you next week with actually a pretty fun little divisive, controversial episode. So we'll see. We'll see. More controversial than drowning blind turkeys, I might say. But anyway,
No.
we'll see you then. Have a great one. Goodbye.
Be okay, sir. So